and let him do a little explaining because he. Hi, Curtis.
Hey, honey.
Curtis, it's Tricia.
Well, hello.
Oh, hi, Tricia.
And you read my book, Curtis, Spirit Boy.
Oh.
And I just
Wow.
wanted to say thank you so much for, you just lit up my day when I read your message the next morning that you had sent me. So I just wanted to give you my blessings. That I think
Well,
you're going
Tricia,
in the
I got to
right
say,
direction with your work.
well, thank you. Thank you very much. I got to say that your book came to me in very, very appropriate timing for my own journey. It really gave me pause to look at what I'm doing through the eyes of a child, through the eyes of innocence, through a guileless place, in a place where temptation does not exist. And it was in a large part responsible for some of the decisions I've made. Your book blew me away. I got to say, yes, I'm going to plug your book, Tricia, because it's that amazing. She emailed me the ebook of this novel, and it is about a boy who died at about age 11. He was shot to death on a schoolyard playground in Los Angeles area, and he came back to be a spirit guide for some of the students and indirectly some of the teachers, to teach them how to deal with the violence in a new way and to open their hearts and minds to a more self-empowering way. Tricia wrote this book so well that I opened the file at 11 o'clock at night and finished the book at 5 o'clock in the morning and did not so much as get up to go pee. I did not get a cup of coffee. I did not get a glass of water. I did not walk the dogs. I sat and I read and I was glued. This book should be within access for everybody. It is beautifully written. It's very clear that Tricia wrote it from a very prayerful place. And it is very clear that she allowed herself to be completely guided in that creation. It is truly one of the most amazing things I have ever read.
Tricia, are you in the
Wow.
chat room?
Wow. Curtis, I'm patting myself on the back, and my little guide was standing behind me.
You deserve it.
It was such a channeled book, and just for all the readers and people out there listening today, it came, and I had to kind of live to the time that people can appreciate it like yourself, you can see the beauty in it. It's taken 20 years to come to this place of me turning it into a book from a screenplay many years back, and then the idea in '86 to even do this when I started on my spiritual journey. So hold on to your dreams out there, everybody, because grand timing just lines everything up perfectly when the perfect time is there. And that was one of my greatest lessons, was knowing that it was incredible because it came through me from guides. And waiting and thinking, how am I going to feed myself as I was waiting and waiting? But I hung in there and still hanging in there. But bless you for your kind words.
I love those two. I could talk to Curtis and Kathy all day long. They're fantastic. They both have radio shows and are easy, approachable. I also wanted to sort of spread my wings and send it out to a lot of different people. So I heard this amazing man one day called Peter Tung, and he was talking about his spiritual principles and being a high school principal in a real high school for 30 years. And my book takes place in a school. I wanted him to read it to get his feedback. And he just blew me away. After 5 chapters, he'd email me saying, it's brilliant. That's all he said. Send me the rest. So I sort of went on from there. And then I approached Monique Chapman, who has interviewed everybody from Donald Walsh to Greg Braden to you name it. So it was making its rounds world as well. He absolutely fell in love with it. And so it just sort of went on. And then my dearest friend of all, Bobby G on Blog Talk Radio, she often mentions it. My daughter and I are sitting listening to her show sometimes, and suddenly there'd be her talking about my book. She works with children and things like that in therapy, and often suggests them to read it. And so I even gave it to a high school youth advisor, and she fell in love with it as well. So it kind of like, I did this little test. I haven't really released it in any big way right now. I'm sort of working on getting it back into the film industry. I think it's the timing now is right for this kind of movie where they're not going to be so judgmental of uplifting stories finally. And so it's, everything has its journey and everything has its timing, and I've been really blessed. I mean, I've been so amazingly fortunate in my life where things just have come in abundance in many different ways. So I don't really have to rush to do anything in my life. So I'm just letting it take its own journey. Um, really have to rush. And that's the beauty of being in divine timing. You just can let things unwind for yourself. But the greatest challenge for me was when my sister read it. And this is a woman who reads all day long. I mean, she's an avid reader, and she had no faith in me at all as a writer for many years. And I lived in a lot of harsh kind of judgment because she actually had the right to feel that way, because I actually grew up with probably just about every learning disability under the sun. So to achieve what I achieved and to have such praise from people, it's really just about allowing who you really want to be to come through, and you find a way. You find a way through the cracks, and it's perseverance, and it's the journey. It's the journey of learning. It's the journey of living, and it's the journey of loving what you're doing. So enjoy,